Hi, this is Madeline Eck, and this is my study 3 presentation for Special Education 183, Section 7. First, I will discuss training and support within this certain case. This relates to BCBA Task List Item I-4, Develop Tactics for Training Staff to Competently Perform Assessment and Intervention Procedures. So our BCBA provides supervision for at least 5% of hours with clients. She supervises the client for about an hour weekly between 2 therapists. I'm one of the 2 therapists. The supervisor monitors and provides verbal feedback in the moment. She asks questions about treatment progress and asks for feedback on programs. If needed, she provides checklists and/or asks that we take self-monitoring data. I'll give an example of that. My supervisor wanted to make sure that we provided non-contingent physical attention to my client throughout the session so that he could play appropriately. We took frequency on data, took frequency data on clickers, and then graphed it at the end of the session. Now I will discuss performance monitoring, feedback, and reinforcement systems for staff, which relates to task list I-5 of the BCBA task list. I prefer the 4-step training model. It first involves training. You show the supervisee what to do by telling them, and you model it. You actually perform it for them. The third step is rehearsal. You ask them to perform it. And the last step is feedback. You tell them how they did when they were practicing the skill. This approach has been backed up by research and shown to be effective when training staff. With this case, and with most supervisors in general, I feel like I mostly just get the training, not the modeling, rehearsal, and feedback. There have been many instances throughout my career where I wish I would have gotten the modeling, the rehearsal, and the feedback. I think it would have really helped me. Now we'll talk about measuring treatment validity and integrity when working with clients. So validity means that you measure what you say you are measuring. So an example could be when you're tracking behaviors, you want to make sure that you're taking data on what you're supposed to be taking data on. Like if you're supposed to be taking data on the frequency of hitting, don't take data on the frequency of kicking. Integrity means that the intervention is implemented the way it was intended. So it's almost like reliability, where you just need to make sure you are completing all the steps correctly every time. To make sure you have validity and integrity, behavior definitions and steps for implementation should be clear so that there isn't room for error. Variability in data or a lack of progress can indicate that there's either a problem with validity or integrity. In this case, the supervisor needs to talk to the data collectors, the staff, to make sure the treatment is valid and integral. They may need to update behavior definitions and or clarify intervention steps. So an example of this for me was for our DTT targets, every day there would be different scores. I would say the client always gets it correct, and my other team member would say the client always gets it wrong. So the supervisor had to ask us some questions, and she found out that one of us was doing the steps the wrong way, and that's why we were getting the faulty result. Essentially, it was a problem with treatment integrity. So by checking in with us, she was able to resolve that issue and then explain how the program should be run and write it down for us. So resolving performance issues. The BCBA task list suggests that we develop a functional assessment approach to identify variables affecting personnel performance. That's task list item I6. It's good to examine what the cause of the issue could be. So it could be lack of materials, time, ability, or too many tasks. It might be something that's not even the employee's fault. You can do this formally with specific assessments or informally through observation. We usually just do it informally through observation. A good example could be offering clickers when noticing data is not being collected. So there was my team member was not counting all of the data. So my supervisor said, oh, I'll provide you a clicker and we'll see if that's more effective for you. And it worked. When improving performance, we should determine what function-based strategies could improve personnel performance. That relates to BCBA task list item I7. I came up with some ideas I think relate to my case. One way could be to provide feedback, both positive and constructive. It also depends on the employee preference of whether they want to receive it in public or private, written or verbal. I feel like I mostly get just the constructive feedback regularly and less positive feedback. At my company, we do earn a shout out gift card point. So if we do something good, the supervisor can give us gift card points on the forum, and then we receive the praise online along with the reinforcement of gift card points. So that's cool. I just wish positive reinforcement was more of an everyday thing. Another way is to create a positive work environment. That includes having a good relationship with people that you're supervising. You should say hello, good morning to them every day, ask them questions about their personal life. Keep it light and friendly, encouraging. Another ways to recognize employees can be verbal, written, public, or private. I think that relates to the first thing I said about providing feedback. Yes. That concludes the video. I hope you learned something. Have a good evening. Bye.